Okay, so instead of making a YouTube video about this, I figured I would just do this live. Why not, right? More entertaining that way. And then people could always watch the video later if they don't get the chance to now. So, what we got here is the FIREDANCING keyboard from 1STPLAYER, model number GK3. And we're going to take it apart and examine the light board in it. Show people how to do that. I've talked about this on their group, as well as we're going to discuss the difference between the LED light board for the regular version, which is the black one that I don't have with me at the second, and this is the luxury version. This is the light board for the luxury version, and the light board for the regular version is already in here. I've already modded it, but we're going to take it apart and we're going to discuss the difference between the two boards and such forth. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is use a heat gun and carefully heat up the sticker on the back of it and peel it off as careful as you can so that you can be able to reapply it properly afterwards. I've already taken it off before, so it's going to peel off easier for me, and it didn't come off completely perfect, so at the moment you can see the little corner is kind of still stuck left up. So here we go. Oh, okay, maybe I did want to heat that up. Let's use some friction. Hopefully this helps enough. Guess I was wrong. Probably best to heat it up anytime you're going to take it off. That seemed to help a little bit. There we go. Now what I usually do is just put it on the side next to it, but if you have some sticker sheet paper, that'll probably be the best. Alright, so then you gotta take your screwdriver, obviously, and remove all the screws. Now, this is best and easiest done if you have some kind of surface that you can be able to rest the keyboard on, where it's resting just on the edges so all the keys can hang freely. Makes the entire process so much easier. And if you don't have a surface like what I'm using here, then you can always take a couple books, I guess, or something, put a book on each side, and maybe the sides as well. Makes it easier. So next up here, we're just gonna take all these screws out. In case anyone is wondering, this is my little dish that I like to use for leaving my screws in. It's a heatsink from a Intel Core 2 processor, a stock Intel heatsink. Alright. Now, it's best to try to make sure not to lose any screws while you do this either. There we go. If anyone does have any questions about this that I don't cover in the video, feel free to leave comments below, and I'll either just type replies to the comments or follow up with another video. And address whatever comments were left. So now, I did take a bunch of pictures before, and I was gonna just put some pictures together and make a little quick video on this and things, but I figured better off just do a full-on live thing here of actually doing the full process, so that way people actually get a good idea of, you know, what it's like going through actually doing this instead of cropping together, you know, video and stuff. I guess the unfortunate part is that obviously it takes longer, and I don't get to do the little speed up, so you like and tend to screw them all super fast. It's always cool and saves time, makes it less boring, but you know, oh well. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do once you get the back off of it here, I'm going to turn this around first so I can get at the parts better. There's going to be a little ribbon cable like situation. Oh, I guess camera can see it a lot worse this way, but so there's a little ribbon cable there, and usually it's a bit longer, so it gives you enough room to be able to let this part flop down completely. However, mine, I messed up first time while I was trying to mod this and figure things out, and I melted through it a bit with my soldering iron, not paying attention to it while I was trying to solder something else, so I ended up having to cut it a bit shorter and things to get it working. Now if you end up doing the same, which you probably shouldn't because you won't need to do any soldering from what I ended up finding out, but if you ever do and there is enough room to be able to cut it a bit shorter, I'll show you in a second what I did for that. Just need to remove it first here. Oh, now to properly remove it, in case you're wondering, what you need to do is, there we go. There's the best way to get at it now. So what you need to do is there's a little black bar, you know, at the end here. And if you've ever done these before and you're familiar with it, you just have to move and push the black bar off of it here, and then it opens up to take it out. Don't want to just grab the ribbon cable part and rip it out. So there we go. Alright, now you don't want to lose that. So we're going to set that over there. Now once you have that out, there we go. See, it slides out nice and easy. Okay, and then the next and key part here is just this little connector right here on the side. That's for the light board. So you want to remove that, and then see how close up I can get here. Alright, so if you see this little area at the end of the tab, it's a little bit darker than the rest of it. Okay, so there's basically a little extra piece of plastic there that's got a sticker adhesive to it on the back side. So if you do end up having to cut it a bit shorter, you peel that off the end of it. Hopefully you didn't melt that part and you melted somewhere further down. You'll peel that off the end. You cut the fresh piece to where, cut the fresh piece first, and then peel that off, and then apply that to the back, right where you cut your fresh piece. And then for the front side, you need to peel it open, and then use an X-Acto knife or something, carefully cut across. Make sure not to actually cut the little wires inside, and then that'll open it up so that it exposes the wires in between the couple layers of plastic, and then you'll have a fresh connector piece that you can put in there. So that's what I did, and I got it working, so I'm glad, because it saved me some serious hassle and being out of keyboard. So anyway, okay, so yeah, next up, I'll take that part there and put that back in. So now you got your USB cable and your little PCB board, and as you can tell, I had to solder the wires back in, because originally I was trying to test and figure whether there's different programming in the PCB board for the luxury edition and the non-luxury, in case there's different programming for the methods and things you can do with it. Fortunately, it turns out there wasn't, and that was a mistake on my half. I guess they have the same different 7 cycles for colors or modes, so I guess it really doesn't make any difference between the 2 keyboards. So all you really have to do, if you're wanting to switch the light boards on them, is just remove the light board from one of them and the other one, and then just swap the light board and plug in the non-luxury version's light board into the luxury version. However, there is an issue with that. As we discovered after we had swapped the light boards, not examining both of them very carefully between each other, I had noticed the lighting didn't light up near enough at all for the keys. If you completely turn it dark and maybe use like yellow or something, it wasn't too bad, but to the main point, it wasn't working as expected. So I have realized why after already just quickly examining the luxury versions, so we're going to go over that in just a second here. So now you take this part and set it aside. Next step is removing the steel plate from the back of it. So that's where you're going to take all these other little screws here and take all of them out. It's odd, it says I have one person watching now, but I'm guessing that one person's me, maybe, I don't know. Did share it on the Facebook and the Twitter, but oh well. These people gonna end up watching it later. Oh, I should share it into the 1STPLAYER group. Yeah, just one quick second. There we go. Alright. Cool. Okay, back to unscrewing the back plate here. In case anyone's wondering what the back plate's for, it's just basically to add weight to the keyboard. Make it so it's a bit more heavier and stays firmly in place while you're using the keyboard. I mean, I guess it helps to some degree, though. I imagine for shipping rates and stuff, if they didn't add that, it would probably have made it a lot cheaper on them, because I mean, that's probably 3/4 of the weight of the keyboard right there, just in the plate here. So at least helps it make it be less of a cheap keyboard. It's not just like some flimsy, cheap keyboard you can bend around and stuff. So, I mean, I guess that part of it's nice. So if you are having to pay shipping fees on one of these by weight, then you know what you're paying for. Alright, so next up, you need to take the ribbon cable here and pull that through. There we go. And remove this little black plastic pieces there. That's to have the light shine through to the num lock, caps lock, and those without the light affecting the rest of the lighting in the keyboard. Okay, so next up, you can just basically leave this part alone as it is. That's basically your keyboard part with the membrane, switches, and the circuit board. Now, the ribbon cable is attached as part of the circuit board, which was the big reason why I had to cut that and fix it. I couldn't just like attach a different new one or something. So, alright. Now the big main part why I'm doing this video is to examine and explain the different light boards. Okay. So, here's your Luxury Editions one, and here's the regular one. Now, if you can tell from, there we go, there's a perfect angle with the light. So you can see right now that there's all these little, there we go, all these little boxes all over it. Okay, and those are for each individual key to get the light to shine out more on each individual key. Now, this one doesn't have those. So, that's where the big issue is. Now what's going to happen is these are all the LEDs in here and in here. Those shine through the plastic, and any little area that has been frosted is going to be an area that will pick up the light. If anyone knows anything about that kind of process, and then that's what's going to make the light shine out more of those areas. So that's what makes it so you can't so easily just swap the two. Now, however, I imagine you could remove the tape here and all the LEDs and switch them from one board to the next, or remove the white back part and frost all of this keyboard piece here to make this one shine through all the individual areas better. So I'd imagine the frosting this one part would be a ton more work. If you did the method with removing the tape, I'd probably suggest getting yourself some metal foil tape, which you can usually find at Home Depot or Canadian Tire, sometimes in the automotive area. And yeah, now I'm fairly bent on wanting to be able to make the regular version of the luxury versions see-through caps, or whichever way around. Make the luxury version have the regular version's coloring. So for right now, I'm gonna just put the luxury version back in the luxury version because I got some review videos to make. And when I'm done with my review videos, though, we'll see which method I choose to go with. You know, I'm kind of tempted on either way, frosting the other one a bit more so that it doesn't just shine around the outside, but shines around the key areas a lot more as well. But before I go ahead with doing that, I'm also going to examine the regular version's method for the faux switches or whatnot, to see if there is area for the light to shine through them before wasting my time. So Alright, well, that's the take apart. I guess I might as well do the put back together since I still have to put the luxury version back together to do a review video on it. So, alright, then to put it back together, obviously just reverse from what we did to take it apart. So, put the ribbon cable through there. Now we'll be putting the luxury version's lighting board back into the luxury version. So we want to put that back on there like that. And it's not really an option. I mean, I suppose you could try to if you wanted to make it lighter on purpose. Say you're carrying it around with your laptop or something to not include the back plate. However, the back plate does help give a bit of extra stability when you're pushing your keys down, so it's not just on the light board plastic. So I guess from testing it, you know, it probably could function fine enough without it. So, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know, obviously do this entire process at your own risk. I'm no way to be held liable for anything that happens to your product or if you break your product. But, you know, my opinion of what I feel is that you would be able to get away with not having the backplate in there in case you didn't want to. So say you're carrying this keyboard around in your bag with your laptop or something for travel and you like to make the keyboard a little bit lighter so it's less weight on you carrying around, then I would say you can probably get away with not putting the backplate back in there and then just take your screws and start screwing the light board part in first before you put the rest of it back together. I would suggest though if you do that method, make sure to go very careful with the screws while you're screwing them in, to make sure you don't push in too hard and crack any of the plastic in the light board. So, however, we're not choosing that method and we're going to put it back in here. So, I'll put it in the plate there now, and then don't forget this piece. There we go. Then take your screws and screw the plate back in. Oh. Wait. No, yeah, it should be fine. Let's see. Just want to double check. How did I go about that last time? Okay, I know what I'm doing. Alright. So I'll still have room to put that in. Okay, I was just checking to see if I had a decent room to put the ribbon cable back into the PCB board there. Alright. Well, it's unfortunate, there's not much for any viewers there, but then again, don't have a ton of subscribers at the moment, especially on the Tefen's Tech account here that this is being posted on. I think there's like 5 subscribers, so definitely doesn't help, I assume. And be a lot more viewers if I did this on Facebook, but their video quality is not very good on the Facebook Live. And I wanted to have decent video quality for this, so that would be why I chose to do this through the YouTube. Just trying to check if this is an area to screw in or not. Don't want to miss one of them. I'm sure just one's not going to make the difference, but nonetheless, right? It is. Okay. There we go. Alright. So here we go. I just screw the board back together here. Now the reason why we do this, keep all those keys there face down and not being pushed in, is that way the membrane area and the keys were able to stay the way they needed throughout the process, so nothing misplaced from where it needed to be or anything. That way everything lines up still properly. Okay. And sorry if you get bored from the screwing the screws in part. Getting unfortunate here, and all the screws I need are sinking to the bottom. For some reason all the black ones are floating to the top. Or making their way to the top. I guess they're not floating because they're not in a substance. Unless you consider the air a substance. Depending on how that works in science. I guess the air is not a gas or a liquid, it's a gas. Alright. Almost done. 3 more. Tell that one single screw stripped a bit on me somehow. Alright, there we go. Next up, getting that ribbon cable back in. That was right. Excellent. There we go. So now make sure to be careful that all the pins are fit in there properly and contacting right. There we go. Now make sure you put this piece in facing the right way up. Afterwards there's a little small indented area right in the very middle of it, and that goes on the bottom side. And then to be able to put this back in case anyone's wondering how that works, it's got to slide in underneath the pins here and make sure that the cable is being held in there firmly while you do this. And then you gotta use your fingers or your fingernails, kind of push it together until it clips in. And once it snaps into place, there you go. Alright, and then take your little cable here from the light board, plug that in. And that one goes with the little pins that you can be able to see the metal part facing down. in case you forgot which way it went when you took it apart. It's usually pretty simple, but just give me a bit of trouble here. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it goes the other way in. Okay, I was wrong. My bad. Disregard what I just said. It goes with the little pin parts that you can see facing up. Okay, there we go. So that's all connected back together now. Make sure everything's inside the keyboard. Put this part on top. Hold it together firmly as we flip it around. There we go, lay it into position and screw in the rest of the screws. Now we use the black ones for the outside. And in case anyone's wondering if they can just get away with putting in a couple of screws and not have to deal with all the screws, I would suggest not, because it holds the keyboard more firmly together so the light's not escaping anywhere it doesn't want to be, and all the light functioning works properly. Especially in the area up here and stuff near the caps lock and things, otherwise the blue light will leak out and not look proper. Okay. And in case anyone's interested in buying one of these keyboards and you're still at this part of the video, you can check out Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, there's some on there. Amazon, whatever the address is for the UK, they have them available there now as well, and they're also available on Newegg.com. So, and there's often a decent discount price on them available as well. And they're not too bad of a keyboard. They're pretty decent. I like them. And I'll be doing a review of it when I'm done doing this. So, and if you're looking for support or check out other people who own these products as well, check out Facebook.com and look up 1STPLAYER on there, and you'll find the 1STPLAYER group. Look up 1STPLAYER Technology. Let's see. I think the address is what it was. 1stplayer.com. Yeah, it is also 1stplayer.com as their website. Group / first. Yeah. Okay, it's facebook.com/group/ 1stplayer. I myself actually was the person who created the group on the Facebook for them, so. And in case anyone's wondering, this video is not sponsored. This is just a video I decided to put together and do here myself because I like these products and I really wanted to have you know, steady single colors of this keyboard, but with the see-through keycaps. So figured since it didn't end up actually coming that way as I was expecting, I would take it into my own hands as a modder to force it to work that way. Which obviously, as you saw, became a little bit more complicated for me, so I still have to figure out switching those lights around on the light boards. to get it to work properly like I want it to. Alright, so there you have it. It's back together now, and instead of the steady colors, it's got the original different rainbow effects, and we're actually going to go right like that, plug it in. There you go, see? Works perfect. I didn't screw anything up. Turn it off, turn it back on, glowing, fade in and out mode, switches different colors when it does that. Cycle through the different combinations of colors for you. There's a steady white. How do we get back to the white? There we go. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the normal. Yeah, see, so there's 7 on each keyboard, so it really didn't make any difference with the PCB board and the stuff in there. So yeah, really all you have to do is, well, can't really just switch the light board as we examined, because then it's not going to light up properly well enough. So you're probably going to have to fiddle around with removing the tape and all the little LEDs, and however that's set up. Imagine the wiring is run through the back side right there, and yeah, so that would be what you'd have to do. Might be able to get away with preserving the tape by using a heat gun gently and carefully and peeling it off and then placing it back down there and then swapping it over and put it on the other keyboard and whatnot. I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to screw it up too much either, so that'll be another video. Well, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you want to check out some more videos, subscribe to the channel, or just come back, check out more videos. Also, check out www.facebook.com/TefensTech, without the apostrophe in there. Like the page, lots of cool content on there. We got some great people like Corey Gregory, Stuart Tonks, and various others that help post content onto there themselves as well, being editors on the page. So we get some cool content from time to time. Definitely worth a check out. And thanks for watching. All right.